RV High. And every Thursday night at 6:05 p.m., we have our college football report show, which means we talk college football year-round, not only college football, but all sports right here on AM 1400 on your dial. All the things that are happening behind the scenes that sometimes you don't really understand. That's College Football Report, Thursday evenings at 6:05 p.m. here on AM 1400 KSHP Radio. Now you remember to buckle up and ride along with us every Thursday night with College Football Report.
The German Show, Sunday mornings at 10 on KSHP North Las Vegas, AM and FM, 829 6HP North Las Vegas, and KSHP.com.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program's participants and do not necessarily reflect those of station staff, management, and advertisers.
It's time for the most interactive radio program in Las Vegas today. It's time for Pushing the Limits with Brian Shapiro. Brian will talk sports, politics, entertainment, and anything that matters to you. Feel free to call Brian at 702-221-7283.
You want answers? I want the truth!
Now, Pushing the Limits, here's Brian Shapiro.
But, we got a cabana, and I got some really good friends here joining us. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're here at the Sapphire topless pool. Topless is optional.
It is?
Yes, it is optional.
Oh,
I will be keeping my shirt on for now. But
yeah,
I got
me too.
Very special guest with me. Nikole Mitchell is a regular co-host with me every Friday, and she is here in the flesh.
Yes.
Of course, you know her as pastor turned stripper. She's been on Dr. Phil. She's been on late night television, Jimmy Kimmel, and she's going to be co-hosting with me today. And the man right here to my left, the movie star himself, one of my favorites, of course, Juana Man, is Miguel Nunez Jr. sitting over here. Thank you both for being here, man. This is a lot of fun. Is your phone ringing? Is it Eddie Murphy?
No, that's him. That's him.
Oh, okay.
That's Joe the Magnificent.
So this is funny because, Nikole, how old are you?
39.
You're 30. Are you really 39? I thought you was going to say like 20.
I'm 29.
But you've never seen the movie Juana Man, so she saw it the other day. What'd you think?
I loved it. I appreciated it. I tried to research all the guests we have on. So when I heard you were coming, I was looking up your Instagram. I looked up your IMDb.
He doesn't age, by the way. He doesn't age.
No, I know that. He warned me.
I'm not ready
he
yet.
looks the same. But
So wait, you were a pastor?
Yes.
No way.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Preaching the good news.
So you were preaching the good news, and then you decided to become a stripper?
Yeah, show the good news.
Oh, nice.
Tell him how much money you make on OnlyFans.
Oh,
hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, multiple six figures every year.
A lot of money.
But what do you do? I don't know. I don't know nothing about OnlyFans.
Yeah, it's just another social media platform. I use it as a whole other business stream. So I use it to post my erotic content, but it's also a community. So I host 4 live streams a month. We do big fundraisers. We do games. I give away prizes. I post every day. I'm in the DMs every day. So if you're looking for connection, if you're looking to feel seen, if you want to get off, I have all the above.
Damn, Miguel likes to get off.
Total package.
No wonder you get $100,000.
Total package.
So I saw TMZ following this guy out of the airport a few months back, and they were not harassing you, but asking you about a Juana Man 2. Can you give anybody an update on that?
It's in development. That's all I can say right now.
Okay.
It's in development. We got a really good script.
Yep.
It's the first time in my career I've got a first draft that was probably 90% there. It's brilliant.
Vivica Fox is supposed to be in there?
100%.
Oh, that's
very
awesome.
big, yeah.
I love her.
Yeah.
Any
Tommy
other-
Davidson as well.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is so cool. So this writer's strike, actors' writer's strike, is still going on. It affects you. It affects all your friends. Any updates since last time you did the show?
Nope, there's no updates. We're still fighting these producers, and it's going to be a long fight. It's going to be a hard fight because it's a really tough situation. And, I mean, like, if you look at, there's a Maybelline commercial out right now, and they got 2 actresses. One of them is an actress, and one of them is an AI. So they already replaced them. Maybelline's already replaced actors. It's one of them is a girl. She goes, "What is that eyeliner you got on?" And it's the AI girl talking. So instead of hiring 2 actors, now they hired one and an AI. So, but as
go ahead, keep talking.
Me? Oh, Brian.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
As a producer, how do you how do you justify if I can create these AI and do it? How do you justify it? And then for actors, it's a tough situation, and that's why it's taken a long time, and that's why I've dedicated myself to. If you watch my Instagram, I went down to the women's shelter. And
That's awesome.
Because I was homeless when I first came to California. People don't know I ran away from home. I lived in the streets, ate out of the trash, woke up every day with lice on me.
Get
I was sold my
out.
blood to eat breakfast, sold my blood plasma to eat dinner. So I've been committed to that. So I went down to the women's shelter. We give away clothes and everything. So I've been working here in Las Vegas. We set up this place because I was walking around with the homeless here, and I see them walking around, and they stopping, and they got that little walk, that little walk they do when they can't walk on their feet. And that's because they got all of these problems. So we created it's called pre-med. And as we go out and we'll bring these people from the street. There are so many services available to them, but they just don't know it. So now we have like we went in there yesterday. We have a place where they can get out of the heat.
Oh, that's so cool.
We had like 100 people in there yesterday. We played bingo.
This was in Las Vegas last night?
Yes, it's in Las Vegas.
That is so cool.
We play bingo. We give away prize money. We give away clothes, food, medical care, and we just started. It's called Pre-Med, and you need to call this number. It's called Pre-Med.
That is so awesome that you're doing that stuff, man.
1-800-242-8707. 800-242-8707. And what we're doing is we created through the government agencies' help. We are now, you can get a family of 4 for $100 a month to get your health care. You can come in, you can get all kinds of stuff.
That's so cool.
$100 a month for a family of 4.
And you're going to be in Vegas a lot doing
I'm going to be
stuff.
in Vegas a lot because I'm going to keep going down. I'm going to come here like maybe once or twice a week.
Yeah.
A month, and I'm going to stay here for a while because I'm going to keep going out to the streets and bringing these people in because they don't know this.
That's incredible.
And they're suffering, and they don't have to.
And there's a guy that I have coming here in hour number 2. Thomas is his name. He's been in and out of jail 4 times in his life with drug substance abuse. And he's opened up rehab facilities in Colorado, and he's doing what you're doing, where he's bringing that now to Vegas, and he's literally saving lives. He's coming here hour 2.
Awesome.
His story's unbelievable.
Awesome.
And the fact that, you guys remember, people like you remember where you came from and the struggles you went through. And I just love to hear stories like that.
Me too. Miguel, you don't know my story much, but I was on food stamps for 9 years as a family of 4. So hearing that hits me to the core. And this is I tell my clients, because I help clients build their businesses and make money. I'm like, this is the reason why we need good people to get rich. This is why we need good people to make it and be really successful, because if you come from a hard place, you want to give back. And so I just want to say thank you for modeling that. Thank you for not giving up on your dreams. And thank you for giving back. That is huge.
Yeah. It's the most important thing to me because, I know a lot of people look at homeless people different. They look at them differently. I remember when I was downtown, and I remember I was home. I was walking around like, you see homeless people talking.
Yeah.
Literally, I swear to you, I was praying every single day. It was the closest I ever got to God because I didn't know anybody.
I do that when I watch Fox News. I mumble to myself a lot.
Yeah, I know. Of course, me too.
Yeah, I do. But if you're just joining us, she is Nikole, of course, my co-host today, pastor turned stripper, actor Miguel Nunez Jr. joining us as well. He's in Vegas, and we're so happy that he's here as well, my man. And
just to clarify what your hat says, can you read it just in case people can't see what
let Miguel read it. He's the professional.
Make America firm again.
Okay, that's a sexual thing. Okay, I'm not supporting Donald Trump.
There we go.
It's funny because a funny story. They have I got to take you guys to this. The AVN Expo and the Porn Awards are here every year. So I wear this hat and I'm walking around, and the first glimpse I get are dirty looks, and then when they actually read the hat, they start laughing. Right. Speaking of Donald Trump, I want to ask both you guys this question real quickly. There are rumors circulating that the former First Lady will be divorcing Donald Trump.
No,
I know that's a shocker. I know that's a shocker.
That's impossible.
Yeah. I don't know when was the last time they held hands, but I think she was slapping his hand away. I think the last time they had sex is when Barron was created. I could be wrong on that as well. But what do you guys think about that? Do you think that she's going to hold off for a little longer? We know
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
You don't think that's funny, actually.
Oh my God.
I actually think it's going to be over soon for Donald Trump, and I think he's going to go to jail.
He has to.
Yeah.
If Donald Trump doesn't go to jail, nobody else should ever go to jail in history.
Hollywood, Hollywood's very liberal, right? It's a very liberal. You don't work with a lot of right-wingers, but when you get them once in a while, how do they react? Like when you're on set of a show or a movie, there's not many Ted Nugents out there. There are a few, right?
Right. But you don't run into them as much. But most people on sets now and producers and everybody tell you no talking politics. It's too divisive.
Yes.
And no politics are to be talked about on set. And in most actors who really are into it, they'll immediately say, no, we can't talk about it on nobody talks about it on set.
In this era,
which I think is a good thing.
Where everybody talks about, well, not everybody, but a lot of people on the right seem to have a problem with transgenders and the LGBT community, all this stuff. This movie, Juana Man, did you ever think that many years down the road that this would be such an issue now and such a political topic?
No,
right?
I did not.
I have a question. Was it an issue back then?
Not at all. None
Really?
whatsoever. None whatsoever. And I look at it like this. My thing is this.
Wow.
I believe I just follow the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I read the Bible said, love thy neighbor as thyself.
Yeah.
There's nowhere in the Bible that says love thy straight neighbor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I believe my thing is I don't have to agree.
Yeah.
It could be against my religion. It could be whatever. But that doesn't no reason to hate anybody. You're supposed to love everybody as yourself and judge not that ye may not be judged also. You love them, you don't judge them because that's between them and God, not them and me.
Right, of course.
So I'm just going to love everybody, whatever they are, whatever they want to do, because the bottom line is they got to stand before God for themselves, and so do I.
But this was not, I agree with everything you said, but this is not a discussion we were having when you were filming Juana Man, which is the people like the Brittany Grinders of the world and the Megan Rapinos of the world saying that they wouldn't have a problem with a transgender playing in the WNBA.
No.
I don't
think transgender women should be playing in men's sports.
I agree. I agree.
Because I do believe you can change this. You're still a man. You can't take away the physical attributes of a man. There's no operation that can take away the extra strength, the extra physical attributes of a man. If you want to create a trans sport, like the girl who lost in the swimming by that much.
Leah Thomas.
You don't think that much was because it was a man?
I agree.
100%.
Leah Thomas. Come
on, I'm against that now. I just think it's so unfair, and I think women are going up against. You can get things cut off, but the strength and all of the agility of a male, you cannot surgically remove that.
Do you think because of that conversation, it makes it harder to come out with another one of those movies, or it makes it easier?
I don't think no one cares. I'm not worried about that. None of that. Nah.
I think
this is a fun, upbeat, comedy, funny movie about a guy who dressed up as a woman to get women. That's what
I love.
I dressed up as a woman to get women.
Who's
to
the guy?
Feel booties.
Who's the guy who played your attorney in that movie? Or agent?
I just saw him today. Shoot.
Very famous actor, and why am I forgetting his name?
I can't believe it either because I just watched him on.
Not Pollock. Is it Pollock? Is that his name?
What?
Oh my God!
I can't.
How do you not know? How do you not know?
And I just saw him on.
You're the star of the movie. How do you not know?
It is Pollock.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Pollock. Yeah. That's it. He's a very famous actor.
I just saw him on the food show.
Anyway, if you're just joining us, we're here at Sapphire Gentlemen's Club. Yes, the pool is open. It's overcast, guys, but we're still having a good time.
Perfect day to not
We're going to
get
order
burned.
some lunch here. We're going to have some drinks. We're going to have a good time. And it's Kevin Pollock. See,
Kevin Pollock.
How do you not know that?
I did until you just asked.
He only knew him as Lauren Daniels.
Who's this guy who did a bunch of movies with Eddie something? I'm sorry, I forgot his name. Is it Eddie Murphy?
Griffin? Griffin?
How many movies did you do with Eddie Murphy? You did a few, right?
4.
4 movies this guy did with Eddie Murphy. How's he doing, by the way?
Great. Got a new family. He got new kids. He's doing great.
He's very tame. Like when I see him do these interviews on late night television,
Eddie's
is that the way?
One of the nicest, smartest people I have ever met and known in my entire life.
Do you ever
He's genius.
Amazing.
He's genius. If he ever wrote a book, it would be a New York Times bestseller.
Do you ever get starstruck yourself? Like, have you ever had that or
Somebody
no?
asked me that. Even when I was coming up, I ain't never been struck. I've been around. I was on the richest man on the planet's yacht for New Year's with Sting and every major star you could think of.
Wow.
Everybody I met, Richard Pryor, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jackson, everybody. I always like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept going. Never cared. I swear to God.
You met Michael Jackson.
It was like, I always knew. Even when I was like nobody and had nothing and hungry, got a 3-day notice in my pocket. Everybody I met, I was like, hey, Michael, then I kept going. Because I always knew I would be where I am. I always thought, yeah, you one day you can know me.
That's incredible.
I never thought anything else. I've never been. Yeah.
That's incredible.
And I look at this picture, me and Michael Jackson. Now, this is a perfect example. Oh, you can't see that. This is a perfect example of.
I have a bunch of that on my phone too. So
of why.
A lot of nudity on both of their phones. No question about that. Nothing personal, and I'd rather see what's on her phone.
This is
personal.
This is how I treated Michael.
Picture with you and Michael Jackson. Did he know who you were?
Of course.
He did.
We were friends.
How cool is that?
This is how I treated Mike there. Now look at this picture. And does it look like I'm taking a picture with Michael? I got him in a headlock like this. Now look, I got Michael in a headlock. Look.
Oh my God! Look at that picture. Look at that picture.
I got him in a head. Who look like they the man?
Oh, you gotta show that.
That's pretty dang cool right there. Miguel,
I got him in a headlock.
Miguel and Michael Jackson. How cool is that?
God.
That's before he got all that plastic surgery.
And
Wow,
Muhammad
Muhammad
Ali.
Ali. That's super
And
cool.
I could
When
go
you
on
meet
and on, but-
somebody like Muhammad Ali, that's pretty amazing.
He was a great guy. Great guy.
That's really
Every
incredible.
single time he saw me, he would go,
Yeah.
"You sure is pretty. I bet you get a lot of pussy." I swear to you, every single time.
People don't know this about Miguel. He's actually very close with the Bus family. He's got Lakers
That's
season
like my
tickets.
family's.
And not to name drop here, but because of Miguel, I was able to go to a Lakers game with Vivica Fox, and that was one of the best nights of my life. And it's all because of this guy. He calls me up in the morning, "Hey, I'm not feeling good. I got COVID. You mind taking Vivica Fox to dinner?" Yeah, I think I can do that.
Yeah,
All
good
because of
time,
this guy.
didn't you?
No, but like you were really close with Jerry Buss, right? Tell me
Yeah,
about that.
Dr. Buss was like my godfather, my best friend for the entire 80s and 90s. I got 7 championship rings. Every time they win, I get one. I even got my 2020.
You've got Laker championship. That is unbelievable.
And Dr. Buss gave it to me when he passed, and Jeannie, same thing. She kept that honor going. So, and he helped me more than anybody. He was like my mentor, my best friend, my dad, my godfather, everything. And he was always there. Jerry Buss was the nicest.
What do you think about his daughter?
I think she's absolutely exactly. She's a mirror image of him. She's the sweetest, kindest, most beautiful, warm. They do so much for people that they don't tell about. Like Dr. Buss, he sent maybe 25 or 30 kids to college that nobody knew, but he didn't want them to know about. Every time we would sit in his box, and people who were sitting in this section at the top, the poor folks, anybody come over and say, "Dr. Buss," they were like, security. He said, no, let him come in. She was like, "Here, this is my son's thing. He did this, and Dr. Buss would go, "All right, if he gets all of these A's for the rest of the year, you bring it to me, boom." And anybody who did that, I don't care who they was, if they kids did what he said, he get a scholarship college.
You go to most of the games? Most of the home games?
I went to all of them.
You went to just about all of them, except for the one I went to.
Yeah, well, home, now I go to a lot because
Do you think LeBron will retire a Laker?
Oh, hell yeah. He's not leaving.
He's not going anywhere?
He ain't going
What do you
away.
think about his son? I mean, that was a crazy
Oh,
situation.
that's horrible.
Bron,
And I hope it doesn't affect him later, though, because they said it's a congenital.
They said they expect him to make a full recovery, and they expect that he'll be able to play again, but that's really...
Fill this non-sport person in. What happened to him?
LeBron James' son was going to be playing for USC next year. I would imagine he probably won't now, but he was on the court practicing, and his heart stopped, and they saved his life.
Oh, I remember seeing the headlines.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bronny, they saved his life, which is
My
incredible. It reminded me a lot of the football player during the year. Why am I forgetting his name?
Terrifying.
But I know you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's really scary. And
It is scary.
You and
it's like all of these plans. LeBron was hoping to play with him with the Lakers,
But you and I grew up with basketball. Wow. We remember Reggie Lewis and Len Bias and all these stories.
Len Bias was
that was a big one. And but you know what frustrates me, guys, when people say, "Oh, it must have been the vaccine. It must have been."
Oh, hell no! I have nothing to do with no vaccine.
Idiots, right? And we learned that he had a congenital heart issue. And they assume that it was because of the vaccine and this medical misinformation nonsense.
It's never stopped.
It's crazy.
It never stops.
It's crazy, man.
350,000 fake emails.
Have you ever been on late night TV? You've been on.
I've done a lot of them. Yeah.
You've done a lot. She was on Jimmy Kimmel's show. How many times?
Really?
4 times.
4 times.
Four times she was on Jimmy Kimmel.
what
I'm
you
sitting
preaching?
with royalty over here.
What are you preaching?
The good news. He loved it.
So what? With the writer's strike and actors' writer's strike now, you're not working right now, right?
No.
So you're helping people.
I'm
In the
helping
meantime,
now.
You're helping
I'm
people.
going to turn this time into helping.
I think
we're going to get together and do some things.
I think that's so awesome. Oh, you two
I'm
need
down.
to get together right here. In
You
more
wanna
ways
You want to
than
go
one.
halves on a little black child?
Have fun.
You want to go halves on a black child?
I need to get out of here and get these two around. 2 very good-looking people right here. And
I'm biracial.
I obviously
Love
don't
another
belong.
biracial.
I obviously don't belong here. These 2 would make very beautiful kids. There's no question. Miguel, you don't have kids, right?
That's something about 3 beautiful daughters.
I didn't even know that. Oh, that's right. Because I remember. I just remembered that. How do I forget these things?
Oh,
I
forgetting.
love that hat, though.
Thank you.
Like
I'll
that.
get you
Everybody's
one.
going to immediately think that.
Can I bring both of you to the Porn Awards
I would be
When is
totally
that?
down.
in January?
I'm totally
I'll
there.
get you a credential. You'll be a distinguished member of the media.
I'll be there.
You and Nikole.
I'll go if she go.
Oh, well, of course
Let's
she's
do
going to go.
it.
Of course she's going to go. It's quite something.
She's going to probably be the star.
Miguel's going to be a regular.
I'll go
Vegas
if we
person
can
now.
we can preach to him. though.
Yeah.
Preach to him. That's right. How would
wow,
you?
that's cool.
How would you compare the strip clubs in LA compared to Las Vegas?
I tell you the honest truth. Last time I've been to a strip club in Los Angeles was I can't even tell you.
It's been a long time.
With Rick James.
Rick James.
And I don't think I've been to one here.
Really? Well, this place is beautiful.
This is a strip club?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, didn't
It's
know
a
that.
gentleman's club. Yeah.
Oh.
This is the only topless pool in all of Las Vegas. And there are some people here, but unfortunately you came on an unfortunate day where
Yes,
there's some cloudy skies. We have the next district attorney that's here, Tim Treppinger, is stopping by. And we have Brian Salmon, who you actually met from Channel 3 Sports. When you were in Vegas and we all had dinner, you met Brian Salmon.
Yep.
We got a lot of very special guests that are going to be coming up. Well, Miguel, I really do appreciate you being here. I don't want you to go anywhere.
I love you, brother. I'm going to go over here and give me some fat burger.
I want you to order some food on me, order some drinks, have a good time. And I appreciate you being here, and thank you for what you're doing for the community and everybody.
So nice to meet you.
Yeah, you're a good dude.
Connected.
And before we go, I always we'll do it when we get off the air. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Before we go,
just touch that.
I always say this. Miguel has promised me a line in Joanna Man 2.
I'm gonna give it to you.
I just wanted to bring that up. I have a line in Joanna Man 2. That's all I'm going to say. All right. While these two exchange numbers and have a dinner date tonight, we're going to take a break. Nikole Mitchell's going to stick around. She's co-hosting with me. We're going to have a lot more to talk about, but we'll take a quick break and we'll be back right after this. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on
Pushing the Limits.
KSHP, baby.
KSHP.
Hey, everybody. Are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits here. Fantasy football draft is upon us. And in Las Vegas, your number one draft party destination is Sapphire. Don't miss their sexy sports podcast or Instagram vixen, Lisa Ann, kicking off the fantasy football draft party poolside at Sapphire Day Club, complete with dozens of topless entertainers and cocktail servers, bartenders, free Wi-Fi, and, of course, fantasy draft boards to stake your top picks. Draft poolside or inside Sapphire Las Vegas. Packages are available now online at SapphireLasVegas.com and SapphireDayClub.com. Text or call 702-869-0003 to reserve your draft party today. Again, that number, 702-869-0003, and I'll see you at Sapphire.
Buying or selling a home is a huge life event that requires guidance from an expert in the industry and community. My name is Blake Wynn. You may recognize my name as my grandfather was the best governor the state of Nevada has ever had. Growing up in Las Vegas, I've come to know this community intricately. Now, I am raising a family here as well, so I understand all the issues impacting our home and quality of life. As the top realtor for the #1 real estate team at Keller Williams, you can have confidence in my experience, knowledge, and track record. When it comes to buying, selling, or investing in real estate, choose a name you can trust, someone who understands the community you call home. Call Blake Wynn today and experience the difference of a trusted expert. 702-540-3311.
Everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits here. I want to tell you guys about my good friends at the Postal Annex. They have a notary signing agent on site daily, no appointment needed, and they offer a full scale of printing services from shipping labels to documents, business cards, banners, photos, and business signage. They're your passport service headquarters. They offer passport photos, and they can renew your adult passports. If you're traveling in a hurry, they can get those passports to you within 7 days or less. Mailbox rentals with a physical street address, and they also receive your packages from Amazon, UPS, FedEx, USPS, and more. Here's the best part. If you're a Pushing the Limits listener, they have an introductory rate of only $39 for a 3-month service. You can't beat it. Give them a call. 702-873-8005. Check them out at 6130 West Flamingo Road. It's the Postal Annex. Tell them I sent you.
I'm Harvey Hyde, and the football season is here, and the UNLV Rebel football team will be kicking off this Saturday at 1 p.m. at Allegiant Stadium. We're highlighting a special show Friday afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m. here on AM 1400 Sports Talk Radio Las Vegas, highlighting the kickoffs of the 2023 football season. Please listen. At 4 to 6, we'll have all the facilities, talk about the game, talk about the players, break down the offense, break down the defense, have the athletic director on, and many others. So again, buckle up out there. We hope you ride along with us Friday afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m. I'm Harvey Hyde, and go Rebels.
Hi, Doug Basham here. Join me Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon right here on KSHP AM 1400, 107.1 FM, and on major social media sites. As always, I'll tell you what your conservative, corporate-controlled, right-wing propaganda hate media isn't. You're welcome. That's Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 noon right here on KSHP. Be there.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits. I want to tell you guys about Sahara West Urgent Care and Wellness. They're conveniently located on the southwest corner of Sahara and Jones. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. At Sahara West Urgent Care, they'll take care of all your healthcare needs. They offer routine services such as physicals, STD testing, car accident treatment, and work injuries. You name it, they do it. They have on-site x-ray, EKG, ultrasound, and labs. They treat chronic conditions such as asthma, blood pressure, diabetes, and more. They also offer general wellness exams and treatments such as testosterone enhancement and cancer screening. They're located on Sahara, 6125 West Sahara Avenue. Their number is 702-248-0554. And the best part, they accept most major insurances and affordable cash pay prices, office visits starting at just $95. And I'm also a client, so please give them a call, 702-248-0554.
Welcome to Hash House A Go-Go, where we've been serving farm food and crafted cocktails for over 2 decades. Visit us for the full Hash House experience at any of our 5 Las Vegas locations. Hash House A Go-Go is where old school meets new and gets twisted. We bring people together over good food and fun. Come in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and come hungry because our portions are huge. Visit us online to see our entire menu at hashhouseagogo.com. Hash House A Go-Go. It's a Midwest thing, and there's nothing else like it. Welcome to Hash House A Go-Go, where we've been serving farm food and crafted cocktails for over 2 decades. Visit us for the full Hash House experience at any of our 5 Las Vegas locations. Hash House A Go-Go is where old school meets new and gets twisted. We bring people together over good food and fun. Come in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and come hungry because our portions are huge. Visit us online to see our entire menu at hashhouseagogo.com. Hash House A Go-Go. It's a Midwest thing, and there's nothing else like it.
Hey, everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Greenview Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Is your dog suffering from a sensitive stomach? Hi, it's Kelly the Cookie Lady from Mooch's Munchies. Our dogs had super sensitive tummies, and I needed to find a low-fat treat that wouldn't give them gas or other issues. Most of the treats on the market were loaded with fillers, chemicals, and chicken fat. Many of them weren't even food. Well, I knew I could do better, so I developed Mooch's Munchies, and I'm happy to be able to share them with you. Stop by our store or our website, moochesmunchies.com, and find out why we say that Mooch's Munchies are totally pawsome.
All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits, and it is a rainy, cloudy day in Vegas, but it's never too rainy and cloudy. It's very sunny when I'm sitting next to Nikole Mitchell, that is for sure.
I was like nodding, like it's always sunny. It's
Pastor turned stripper. I could make a horrible joke,
and say I'm getting people wet today, but that would certainly be a lie. But anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. The cabana's getting us a little wet. Welcome to the show, everybody. We are broadcasting live at Sapphire Pool. We just had my good friend, God, I love that guy, Miguel Nunez
so
Jr.
Good.
You know, not only are his movies awesome, but he's also a great guy. And I didn't realize the things he was doing for the community right here in Las Vegas.
That was incredible.
I'm so happy for him, and I'm happy that he's able to come by and say hello. He's getting some Fat Burger now. They do serve Fat Burger here at Sapphire, so it's pretty dang cool. But you know, it's interesting, Nikole, because you can go the political route and talk about, you know, what's going on in the world. And I had yesterday I had Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy on, who's really the number 3 Republican in the country, and we talked a little bit about serious issues such as gun control and stuff. And if you remember, there was a trans shooter in Nashville, and I hate using that term because they use it. They, meaning Republicans. Somebody that happened to be a transgender, which I really don't care about their sexuality or their gender, killed a bunch of innocent people in a school, and they want to talk about that shooting, but they, you know, I don't know if you heard about the shooting over the weekend in Jacksonville, where a white male, white supremacist, killed a bunch of innocent people just because of the color of their skin. And you know, it's such a huge problem facing this country, and I don't hear a lot of solutions from people, you know, on the right. I don't know if you ever thought about, you know, and you know, right here in Vegas, the October 1 shooting. I can't believe how many years it's been, the biggest mass shooting in American history. And I tell this story, Nikole, all the time, where a friend of mine who I know listens to the show, he works at another station. His name is Chris, and I was supposed to go to that concert that night.
Jeez.
A friend of mine invited me, and I said, I'm not much of a country fan. I'm certainly not a Jason Aldean fan. It's just not me. So I went to a Vegas Golden Knights preseason game that day. And I say that could have saved my life because, you know, unfortunately she was shot in the lower back. She's walking, she's doing okay, but she's never been the same. And so the gun control issue, I'm very sensitive to it. We're not going to take all the guns away. We're not going to end all the gun violence, but I like to hear solutions from people.
Yeah.
And I haven't really heard that, you know, so.
Yep. It's unfortunate because shootings are so common in America that I feel like people have gotten desensitized to it until you're personally affected by it. And that's the thing is like, we shouldn't have to wait till we're personally affected by it to know that it's a major problem and to do basic gun reform. Like you said, we're not trying to like take everything away. It's just like even basic gun reform to help protect lives. And like, this way I try to connect with Republicans. Like you're so pro-life, but you're not once the kids are born. Like you're not putting measures in to protect children at school. You keep letting the guns keep selling and not doing background checks.
Exactly.
And, like it breaks my heart because there's so many senseless deaths. And like, I think we can all agree whatever political party you're part of, we all want to protect lives. We all want to keep people alive. We want to keep people safe. And this shouldn't be a political issue. This is us coming together. Yeah.
I feel that way. You're right, Nikole. And I feel that way about so many other issues. Shouldn't be a political issue. Abortion shouldn't be a political issue. Gun control shouldn't be a political issue. Healthcare, you know, minimum wage. There's so many issues. COVID shouldn't be a political issue, but so many people make it political, and it's like it's so frustrating to me, right? Because it's like the goal. We're all Americans. Doesn't matter where you're from or what you look like or what your gender is. At least it shouldn't. You know, we're all Americans. We're all in this together, and I feel the same way. Miguel Nunez in the background doing a little
cameo,
doing a little dancing back there. Juana man doing a little dancing back there. Grab some drinks, my man. Grab some drinks. But you know, it's unfortunate. You know, we're living in a very weird time right now in this country where we're so divided on so many different issues, and we shouldn't be. And I talk about it on the show every time. I also try to have a little fun with it too. You have to have some kind of sense of humor because there's enough sadness to like break the human spirit. I call Donald Trump the orange turd. I call him Cheeto Jesus. I have a couple different nicknames for him. But listen, there's nothing wrong with being a Republican. I don't have a problem with Republicans. A lot of my very good friends are Republicans. What I have a problem for is people that believe that Trump, you know, shouldn't be held to account.
Right.
And if the argument is, well, Joe Biden this, Joe Biden that, then show me the evidence. And if Joe Biden committed a crime, then he should be held to the highest extent of the law as well. But it's like I see. In my personal opinion, not to get too political here, but I guess I will.
Yeah.
I see what Donald Trump has done to this country, and I'm not talking about the economy. I'm talking about bigotry. I'm talking about people being comfortable in their bigotry, and it's unfortunate.
Yep.
And there are some people in the porn industry that are Republicans, and I say to myself, how can you be in that industry and be a Republican where everybody basically in your party votes down and wants to get rid of and abolish what you do, right? If Republicans around the country, you wouldn't be able to have your website, right?
Totally. Yep.
I mean, Republicans vote against everything.
I think that's part of it just shows like the complexity of humans. Where like that situation you gave right there, where it's like I vote for a party that actively votes against the work that I do. It's like we are walking contradictions as human beings, and I think that's part of like we have to recognize each other. And I think also like if people could realize when we get together one-on-one, have a conversation, I think we actually find we have more in common, and that we actually do want to look out for the other, and we don't have to I don't have to impose my beliefs on you to be friends with you. You don't have to impose your beliefs on me to be a good friend, and we can look out for one another without making it so polarizing that we can't even look at each other, and instead come together and talk it through.
I feel like, and I agree with what you said, and I feel like a lot of people that judge others, whether their sexuality, whatever the case may be, I think a lot of people that judge other people have a lot of issues in their own life, and they're not addressing those issues, so they want to make other people miserable. Like I remember, it's so crazy. I won't mention any name, but I dated this girl. I know it's incredible. I dated a woman at one point in my life, but this was like 10 years ago.
Oh my
And I dated this woman who, very attractive, very pretty, but such a downer. Like she was one of those people where she was depressed and she suffered from depression, but she wanted to make everybody else miserable, right? And those people are toxic.
Yeah.
You need to get help and stop bringing everybody else down. I feel like social media is like a cesspool of negativity. It is a cesspool, and maybe I'm a part of the problem. I don't know, but I do feel like you go on Twitter or X or whatever the hell it's called now. Mainly Twitter. I mean, it happens on Facebook too and other forms, but I think Twitter's the worst in that everybody's attacking one another on there. It's like, you're one of the few people. You're just going on there giving people smiles and probably erections too. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Both and, baby.
Yeah.
Both and.
No, but I mean, like everything is so hateful on there, man. I don't understand it. And we're getting this amazing lunch right now. Look at that. Thank you so much. Beautiful ladies at Sapphire.
Yes, and that's like what we have to do. I feel like as a leader. I mean, speaking of Trump as a leader, right, or Biden, or you with your radio show and me with my social media presence, like we have a responsibility to the people. And so I take my responsibility as a leader and as an influencer very seriously. And I want to be the one who contributes for the good of society. I want to be the one who creates like helpful content. I want to be the person who brings people together, like because I have influence and say, and I can use it to divide. I can use it to cause problems, or I can use it to create solutions and bring people together. And that's what I want people to know and realize that you have so much say and so much power, so use that to create the reality that you want. And like you were saying, we have this tendency, like when we're sad and something good happens, we let our sadness override the good.
No question.
Or if we're going to day, but one sad thing happens, we let that sadness ruin our day. We're so quick to let the sad and the bad take over, and it's actually much harder to let the good stay. And so part of what I do with my clients is helping them learn how to expand their capacity for good, and like, can we let the good have a bigger impact than the bad? Because it's so easy to let the bad take over and then be all pissy and then bring people down with us.
Yeah, I love that. I really love that message, and you're 100% right. And there's a lot of hate out there. What I try to do is I try to interview all sorts of different people.
Yeah,
people
really good at that.
All different walks of life. Mainly Republicans. I usually interview people that I disagree with.
That's incredible.
But I want to remind everybody, by the way, in hour number 2, we're going to be interviewing a man by the name of Thomas Hernandez. Been in and out of jail multiple times in his life from substance abuse issues, major issues in his life. Well, he is now the creator of Tribe Recovery Homes. What that is they're located in Denver right now. It's rehab facilities that are literally saving people's lives, and he's going to be bringing that to Las Vegas. So we're going to be talking to him about that. We just got a little bit of food. Here's what I want to do next. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to interview probably the third most popular Republican in Vivek Ramaswamy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a break. And when we come back, I want to play that interview for our listeners while you enjoy your sweet potato fries. And then you and I are going to come back at the top of the hour. And we're going to be interviewing Thomas about his life and what he's been able to do to help other people. I love these types of stories. We're broadcasting live from the Sapphire topless pool I don't know if Nikole later on will be topless or not. That's up to her. I don't know. Oh, look at that. No. Nobody wants to see me do that, including Joe. Nobody wants to see me do that. My pasty white ass. Anyway, we got Nikole Mitchell there. I'm so happy she's here. It's so fun. It is so fun doing the show with her. We always have a great time. Miguel Nunez is still in the house. He's chowing down on a burger. We're going to chow down a little bit, but we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, my interview with Vivek Ramaswamy. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this for that interview. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Hey, everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits here. Fantasy football draft is upon us. And in Las Vegas, your number one draft party destination is Sapphire. Don't miss their sexy sports podcast or Instagram vixen, Lisa Ann, kicking off the fantasy football draft party poolside at Sapphire Day Club, complete with dozens of topless entertainers and cocktail servers, bartenders, free Wi-Fi, and, of course, fantasy draft boards to stake your top picks. Draft poolside or inside Sapphire Las Vegas. Packages are available now online at sapphirelasvegas.com and sapphiredayclub.com. Text or call 702-869-0003 to reserve your draft party today. Again, that number, 702-869-0003, and I'll see you at Sapphire.
Buying or selling a home is a huge life event that requires guidance from an expert in the industry and community. My name is Blake Wynn. You may recognize my name as my grandfather was the best governor the state of Nevada's ever had. Growing up in Las Vegas, I've come to know this community intricately. Now, I am raising a family here as well, so I understand all the issues impacting our home and quality of life. As the top realtor for the #1 real estate team at Keller Williams, you can have confidence in my experience, knowledge, and track record. When it comes to buying, selling, or investing in real estate, choose a name you can trust, someone who understands the community you call home. Call Blake Wynn today and experience the difference of a trusted expert. 702-540-3311.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits here. I want to tell you guys about my good friends at the Postal Annex. They have a notary signing agent on-site daily, no appointment needed, and they offer a full scale of printing services from shipping labels to documents, business cards, banners, photos, and business signage. They're your passport service headquarters. They offer passport photos, and they can renew your adult passports. If you're traveling in a hurry, they can get those passports to you within 7 days or less. Mailbox rentals with a physical street address, and they also receive your packages from Amazon, UPS, FedEx, USPS, and more. Here's the best part. If you're a Pushing the Limits listener, they have an introductory rate of only $39 for a 3-month service. You can't beat it. Give them a call. 702-873-8005. Check them out at 6130 West Flamingo Road. It's the Postal Annex. Tell them I sent you.
I'm Harvey Hyde, and the football season is here, and the UNLV Rebel football team will be kicking off this Saturday at 1 p.m. at Allegiant Stadium. We're highlighting a special show Friday afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m. here on AM 1400 Sports Talk Radio Las Vegas, highlighting the kickoff of the 2023 football season. Please listen. At 4 to 6, we'll have all the facilities, talk about the game, talk about the players, break down the offense, break down the defense, have the athletic director on, and many others. So again, buckle up out there. We hope you ride along with us Friday afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m. I'm Harvey Hyde, and go Rebels.
one.
Right now, he's certainly gaining a lot of ground within the Republican Party, a very popular figure among the party, and even jumping up to number 2 in some of the polls. It is a pleasure having Vivek Ramaswamy joining us right now on the line. Vivek, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Good to be on. How are you?
Doing great. I appreciate you taking the time. I know this is a very busy time for you campaigning. And I do appreciate the fact that you're always willing to have a debate with anybody, whether you agree or disagree. I do agree with you. That's great for the country. I thought your interview you did with Bill Maher was phenomenal. So let's get right into it, if that's okay. And let's start and let's get the Donald Trump stuff out of the way to start. You've said that you want to bring the country together if you become president of the United States.
I do.
So explain to me why you believe pardoning Donald Trump, if he is convicted of a serious crime, would bring the country together.
I think that we should not set the precedent in this country where the ruling party uses police force to indict and arrest its political opponents in the middle of an election. I think that is an awful precedent to this country. I think we are skating on thin ice right now. And I do not want to see us become some banana republic where we're using the weaponization of justice to eliminate political competition. And the reality is these indictments, they're using novel legal theories that have never been levied precisely because Donald Trump is running for president. And I say this now as somebody who's running at second place in some of these national polls. It would be easier for me if Trump were eliminated from competition. That would be an easier path to winning. But that's not what this is about. This is about principle. And I think that that's why it's so important that I be vocal on this.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. If you're elected the next president of the United States, if Joe Biden is convicted of some crimes as serious, when you're president of the United States, would you do the same for Joe Biden? Would you give him that same luxury, and would you pardon him?
Well, the reality is we're seeing the opposite right now, is when there are actual crimes that have been potentially committed relating to selling off our foreign policy, we're not even seeing the beginning of an investigation. And so my standard is if it is a politicized persecution through prosecution, what does that mean? If somebody's prosecuted because of their political affiliation or belief, then that is a basis for a pardon. And that doesn't mean that it just applies to people who agree with me. For example, Julian Assange, who probably has very different politics than I do, based on what I know if I had to guess. I've said that on day one, he would get a pardon. Why? Because Chelsea Manning, the government official who leaked the documents to Julian Assange, had her sentence commuted by President Obama because she's transgender. But Julian Assange sits in foreign exile in a foreign prison. So to me, that's a clear example of a dual standard of justice. And my view is anybody who's a victim of a politically motivated persecution through prosecution, whoever that is, if it's a really politically motivated prosecution and somebody under similar circumstances would not have otherwise been prosecuted, that's what I've said would be my basis for pardoning any American.
Last question on this, not to beat a dead horse here, but can it be possible, Vivek, that Donald Trump actually committed some serious crimes? And listen, I think the case in New York, I think that's a fair point. I think that's very political. But Jack Smith is a guy that has prosecuted Democrats. You know that. So can it be possible?
Yeah, but I've read the indictments. And so obviously it's based on the facts of what I've read, right? And we can I read my article in the Wall Street Journal about why actually the legal theory used to prosecute Trump in the documents case is based on a flawed statute and a flawed legal theory that fails to even mention the Presidential Records Act. So we could go through the details. What I've said is I'm assuming that the facts in the indictment are the worst statement of the facts for the defendant. That's almost always the case. The indictment contains the most prosecution favorable statement. You know, if it turned out that Donald Trump or any other president were selling off the secrets of this country for private gain, there's zero evidence of that in the Trump case. But if it turns out that there's a U.S. president whose family members accepting multi-million-dollar bribes from a foreign nation that gets hundreds of billions of dollars of U.S. taxpayer money in return, yeah, my opinion on Donald Trump would be different then. But the irony is there's not a shred of evidence to suggest that that's happened in Trump's case, when in fact that is the open question about whether that's happening with the Biden family. So we have two standards of justice, and we have to call that out for what it is. But look, I'm in this race to lead our nation forward. I want to reunite this country. I want to reignite this country and our economy, and to actually solve the problems that all Americans face, from our own southern border, which I will seal, to our own economic stagnation, which I will reverse through economic growth, shutting down an unconstitutional shadow government in the administrative state, That's something I can do as the U.S. president. Declare independence from China, who we depend on for our modern way of life. I know how to get this done. I think I'm the person uniquely suited in this race who can get it done and revive national pride in the next generation of Americans while we're at it. That is what we need in this country, and I think I'm the only person in this race who can truly deliver a landslide election in the general. Look at the places I'm campaigning. We're not leaving no state left behind, no city left behind, no American left behind. That's the way I'm going to lead, and I think that gives you a sense of why I'm in this race.
Sure. Let me. If you're just joining us, Vivek Ramaswamy, running for president of the United States. A couple more questions for you on some other topics. You've mentioned that you want, if you're under the age of 25, you believe to vote, everybody should have to pass a civics test. My question to you is, and I guess comment, I've talked to many people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s that don't have that same type of civics ability, I guess you could say, than people that are in their early 20s. So if you're going to do that for someone that's in their early 20s,
I think
why not everybody?
Look, I think we should just start with, what I think is everybody in this country should have that capability. You've just got to start somewhere, right? And so for people who age into citizenship, that's the new criteria that I want to use in this country. But it's more about something broader. It's a broader principle that people need to know something about our country in order to be proud of it. I think every kid who graduates from high school should have to pass the same civics test that every immigrant already has to pass in order to become a voting citizen of this country. We make immigrants know something about this country for a reason. And I think there's no reason why people who are born here shouldn't know those same things about our Constitution.
I agree. Listen,
and about how our government works and about our history.
Listen,
that's what I believe.
I agree with you. I just think there's a lot of people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s that probably
and
don't
I agree with you
that.
back.
Yeah. And
I agree with you back that too is a problem, but we've got to start somewhere.
Okay, well,
and the fact that we can't start there doesn't mean that we don't start somewhere.
Gotcha. All right, let's talk about gun control. You were doing an interview on Fox News, and you were asked about gun control, and then you brought up the trans shooter. That's a term that some people use in Nashville. You went over there. My question to you is this. If trans shooters are less than 0.5% of all mass shooters in this country, why do you always talk about that shooting?
Yeah, I don't always talk about that shooting. To the contrary, I was in response to a question asking about the supposed racial motivations based on the manifesto of the shooter in Florida. And I said, we can't apply a dual standard where in one case we obsess over the manifesto, and yet in the other case, they have not even released that manifesto to the public. And that was an aberration. That's also another reason to talk about it. There's a longstanding practice in law enforcement that whenever there's a manifesto of a mass shooter, they make it public. That was one case where they didn't. And so I think this is symptomatic of a broader government culture of selectively lying and hiding the facts. And I think that that's really what was wrong in that case, which is why I think that it's my job, if I'm running a campaign founded on truth, to demand a government that speaks the truth to its people. The truth about the origin of COVID-19, to the truth about the Hunter Biden laptop story, to, yes, the truth about the Nashville shooter manifesto.
The Hunter laptop story is an interesting one, but let's just, we'll get to that, but let's just talk about guns for now. If you're elected president of the United States, you were on a debate stage, a few weeks ago, and you talked about faith. And I have no problem with people believing what they want to believe, religion and faith, but what are you going to do to lower the gun violence in this country? Because I don't think faith is enough.
Well, I think we do have a mental health epidemic. That's the root cause of violent crime in this country. And so I think we need to bring back psychiatric hospitals, mental health institutions, not just by drugging people up, but yes, by faith-based approaches that restore purpose as well. And I do think that it's no accident that over the same period we've seen the closure of those mental health institutions, we've seen a rise in violent crime. I think that by actually restoring and fixing that mental health epidemic, we're going to get to the root cause, remove dangerous people from their communities rather than removing guns from law-abiding citizens. That's what I say.
Are you comfortable with an 18-year-old going into a gun shop, buying thousands of rounds of ammunition and assault weapons? Are you okay with that, or would you raise the age? Would you get rid of some of these assault weapons, particularly these AR-15s that seem to be used in these larger mass shootings? Is there anything you would put on the books?
Look, I think the fact of the matter is if somebody's willing to break the law and kill people, that means they're going to be willing to break the law to be able to illegally acquire a firearm, even if they're banned. And so I think it's just the wrong way to go. And we forget what the Second Amendment was created to do. It was created to secure all of the other freedoms we have in this country. And I think the fact of the matter is we have to acknowledge that if you want to address crime, you do it through more cops on the street without having to look over their shoulder, to be able to do their job without fear of being sued, and bring back mental health institutions.
I agree with
That's what we need to do.
I agree with your take on mental health. I agree with what you said about law enforcement, but you think it's just a coincidence that per 100 people in this country, we have 140 guns, and back when the Constitution was written, we had something called muskets. You don't think we're obsessed with guns in this country, and that might have something to do with why there's so much gun violence here?
I don't think that has much to do with the gun violence here. That's the answer to the question. I think that the reality is there's a reason why Iran and China and other countries claim to offer the same freedoms we do in this country, but don't. It's that they don't have a Second Amendment and we do. Mm-hmm. And that's just a reality of part of what it means to live in a free country. And so I think that is wrongly serving as a lightning rod for criticism, when in fact what we need to focus on is enforcement of the law, allowing law enforcement to do their job, and addressing the mental health epidemic in the country.
Two more quick questions, and then I know you got to run. Let's talk a little bit about Vladimir Putin. You've said on record that you would give him parts of Ukraine. You think that would be better for the United States of America. My question for you is, some people say you're rewarding an evil, murderous dictator for going into another country and invading another country. Why would you do that?
Well, predictably, that's a distortion of my position. Because what I've said is that would be in the context of a deal. The deal would be in return for Vladimir Putin exiting his military alliance with China. And the Russia-China military alliance is the single greatest threat that the United States faces today. So, of course, I wouldn't just give him regions of a country that he invaded without conditions attached in return. That would be insane. Of course, that's how, the media is very good at creating caricatures of candidates' positions, but my job is to make sure that we
that's why I'm interviewing
cut through that.
Absolutely.
And speak the truth. Exactly.
That's why I'm interviewing.
And so the reality,
sure.
Yep. And so the reality is, what I think is that the Russia-China alliance is the single greatest concern the U.S. faces on the global stage. And if we can end the Ukraine war on terms that pull apart that alliance, that is good for the United States. It's good even for the rest of the world. I think it's even good for Ukraine, which comes out with its sovereignty intact, which is not at all obvious that the trajectory they're on is something that's going to allow them to do.
Do you agree?
So that's how we secure peace, and that's also how we deter China from going after Taiwan, because Russia is no longer in China's camp. If that's the case, then Xi Jinping is going to have to think twice before going after Taiwan. That's visionary foreign policy, and that's what we're going to need.
Do you agree with me that Vladimir Putin is an evil, murderous dictator? Would you be on the record as saying that?
Vladimir Putin is absolutely a dictator. Xi Jinping is absolutely a dictator. The world is full of dictators. Does that mean that we trust them? No, we don't. We should not trust Putin. But we can trust them to follow their self-interest. And I think that that's what realism in foreign policy demands. And my job as U.S. president is to advance American interests by acknowledging that nations act in their self-interest. And that's how I'll lead as commander-in-chief.
Last question, Vivek, and we really do appreciate your time. Donald Trump has just stated in the last few days that he would be very open to you being his vice presidential candidate. I know in the past you've said you're not really interested in that. You want to be the number one guy. I understand that. Has your position changed at all? And what is your response to Donald Trump in saying that he would consider you as his vice president?
Well, I'd say evolved would be the right word, where what I've said is I am hopeful that President Trump will be my most valuable advisor and mentor during my first year in the White House. I don't want to relearn those same lessons that he had to learn, in some ways the hard way, the first time around. I want to pick up where he left off, build on that strong foundation, shutting down and taking on the deep state and the administrative state to move to the next level. And I think that he will be my most valuable mentor when I am in that seat, in that first year, and that's the role that I will call on him to play.
Well, on a lighter note, Vivek, I played Division I college tennis, so if you ever get out here to Vegas, we got to play a set, my man. I
love that, man.
I saw some of your strokes. You look pretty good, I got to say.
I'm not, at my best, I wasn't half bad, but now the campaign trail is eating into my game. But let's do that. I would enjoy that.
I would love that, and I know you canceled a couple events, not your fault, in coming here to Las Vegas and coming to the state of Nevada. I'd love to get you maybe in studio.
Oh, we're going to reschedule those with a vengeance. Yeah, I think we had, I don't remember what travel issue or what got in the way, but we're going to be absolutely coming back.
And when you come back, man, I'd love to get you in studio for a couple minutes. I really, like I said,
awesome.
I appreciate the fact that you're always willing to debate people and have conversation. I do agree with you. That's great for the country. And we'd love to have you on again down the road, Vivek Ramaswamy. Thank you so much for your time. I know how busy you are, and we really do appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you in Vegas.
Thank you. Thank you. That's Vivek Ramaswamy. Hey, Shapiro from Pushing the Limits here. Fantasy football draft is upon us, and in Las Vegas, your number one draft party destination is Sapphire. Don't miss their sexy sports podcast or Instagram vixen, Lisa Ann, kicking off the fantasy football draft party poolside at Sapphire Day Club, complete with dozens of topless entertainers and cocktail servers, bartenders, free Wi-Fi, and of course, fantasy draft boards to stake your top picks. Draft poolside or inside Sapphire Las Vegas. Packages are available now online at sapphirelasvegas.com and sapphiredayclub.com. Text or call 702-869-0003 to reserve your draft party today. Again, that number, 702-869-0003. And I'll see you at Sapphire.
Buying or selling a home is a huge life event that requires guidance from an expert in the industry and community. My name is Blake Wynn. You may recognize my name as my grandfather was the best governor the state of Nevada has ever had. Growing up in Las Vegas, I've come to know this community intricately. Now, I am raising a family here as well, so I understand all the issues impacting our home and quality of life. As the top realtor for the #1 real estate team at Keller Williams, you can have confidence in my experience, knowledge, and track record. When it comes to buying, selling, or investing in real estate, choose a name you can trust and someone who understands the community you call home. Call Blake Wynn today and experience the difference of a trusted expert. 702-540-3311.
Here's to your health, Monday morning at 7 on KSHP North Las Vegas, AM and FM, 829 6HP North Las Vegas, and KSHP.com.
Hey, everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super hero, that is, because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Hey, everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits. I want to tell you guys about Sahara West Urgent Care and Wellness. They're conveniently located on the southwest corner of Sahara and Jones. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. At Sahara West Urgent Care, they'll take care of all your healthcare needs. They offer routine services such as physicals, STD testing, car accident treatment, and work injuries. You name it, they do it. They have on-site x-ray, EKG, ultrasound, and labs. They treat chronic conditions such as asthma, blood pressure, diabetes, and more. They also offer general wellness exams and treatments such as testosterone enhancement and cancer screening. They're located on Sahara, 6125 West Sahara Avenue. Their number is 702-248-0554. And the best part, they accept most major insurances and affordable cash pay prices, office visits starting at just $95. And I'm also a client, so please give them a call, 702-248-0554. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits, hour number 2. We are broadcasting live from the Sapphire Topless Pool. We're having a good time. And, of course, Miss Mitchell, can I call you that?
Oh, that's like bringing my high school teacher days back.
Miss Mitchell.
I used to be called, I was actually Miss Simpson. I take that back. My maiden name, Miss Simpson.
Well, I'm glad you're here, Miss Simpson.
I'm so glad to be here, too.
We just had, earlier in the hour, if you missed it, my good friend, actor Miguel Nunez Jr. He's taking pictures with people here now, and people are recognizing him. Hey, Juana, man, I want to get a picture with you. That was fun.
I love it.
And I love the fact that he's doing all these wonderful things.
Huge.
In Las Vegas. But you know what? I wanted to introduce to you
yes,
a friend of mine. I met him fairly recently. His name is Thomas Hernandez, and his story is pretty fascinating to me. In and out of jail multiple times in his life, substance abuse issues, all sorts of different problems he had in his life, completely turned his life around. And now he's the founder of Tribe Recovery Homes, and I'm going to give him an opportunity to talk about that. He's literally saving lives, and he's going to be bringing that to Las Vegas, which I think is awesome. Thomas, thank you so much for being here, first of all. How are you? Are you enjoying the scenery here at Sapphire?
Of course, definitely.
Well,
how could you not?
We're having a good time. I love it here. They treat us so great here, and if people out there listening, come on down and say hello. All right, so Thomas, let's start from square one. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in a place called Aurora, Colorado, by way of East Denver. It's a suburb of Denver. Born in 1975. So this next month I'll be 48 years old, and I've made it that long. I'm really, really surprised that
You're going to make
happened.
it much longer. So you grow up in Aurora, and nice family, good parents.
Yeah. You know, I come from a long line of. My grandma had 14 kids, so my dad is one of 14 on my Mexican side of the family, and on my mom's side, it's actually it's a mixed European family. So my grandpa was Russian by way of Ukraine, and my grandma was from Madrid, Spain.
Wow.
So I got a crazy mix there on everything, so it kind of contributes to the my unsettled spirit through my life.
Well, let's get to that.
Yeah.
At what, so many people in this country, especially here in Las Vegas, suffer from substance abuse issues and whether, addiction. When was the first time you were introduced to, drugs, and when did you start using it? How old were you?
Okay, so, I took my first drink when I was 8 years old, just kind of experimenting.
8 years old?
Yeah, of liquor, me and my cousins. And I did my first drug by the time I was 11.
Oh, my God.
First armed robbery I pulled was like 14 years old.
You pulled off an armed robbery when you were 14. Where was this?
Man. Yeah, so I had a buddy. It was a buddy of a family member. Got out of the joint, put a gun in my hand. He was looking at it. I was looking at it, showed me it. I had one bullet in the chamber, and he said, "Hey, what do you think of that?" So before I knew it, he pulled a gun that way, had a gun in my head, and he said, "Check this out, man. We're going to go up in this store. We're going to rob this place and flinch once. I'm going to put two in you." So I was like, well, how can I refuse? You know what I mean?
No choice.
So you were hanging out. You were hanging out with the wrong people at a very young age.
Yeah. But I played at both sides of the tracks. I was a really good football player. My mom's a DU grad. You know what I mean? So
educated family.
Yeah, my dad put himself through night school. He had 2 weeks of high school, night school, became a mechanical engineer. They worked their tail off to get where we were at. We started with humble beginnings, but with my big family, my spirit was always wild, went to that side of things. So I pulled the crime. Instead of like a kid would go home and tell, you know what I mean? And I went to a party. I got all accolades. I got the gun that I robbed the store with. They gave me stuff. I got street cred from it. So,
wow.
It really pumped up my life on feeling who I was. So by day, I was going to school, playing football, captain the football team. By night, I was running around with shotguns and craziness, you know what I mean? So by the time I was 16, my dad was tired of it. He emancipated me. He signed a paper. He was like, hey,
no
17
way.
years old, yeah. I was out. I had my first kid, about 16 years old. Got a 21-year-old married woman pregnant. She had no idea who she was dealing with.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, man. You saw, I had a goatee, fake IDs. I came out here at 18 years old with my buddy Willie Kilmer's ID. Took it from him, and that was, yeah, I was running around Las Vegas acting 21 because we had the same round head, looked the same.
And how old were you the first time you were held to account for one of your crimes and you had to go to jail?
Oh, man, I was in and out of county stuff, but the first time I really hit the joint was when I was 27. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And what was that? What was that charge?
I mean, that was just they tried to get me on a whole bunch of stuff, so the only thing they could get me was on evading and eluding.
And you were in and out of jail multiple times in your life.
Yeah. So
yep.
Yeah, I did four prison terms. I did 3 state, 1 federal.
At what point in your life do you say to yourself, okay, I can't keep doing this. I'm going to kill myself with substance abuse issues and breaking the law and all the things that you had done in your life. At what point do you say to yourself, that's it, I need to change my ways? When was that?
Well, through the whole progression of like the first time that I went, I was a cannonball. So basically, you know what I mean? I was just earning stripes. So when I got out, patched out into not saying it, I don't really promote the names. I ended up being in a 1% club after that. Basically, second time I was in, I just drugged and tattooed. Third time, I found a program.
Wow.
Got into this program, in the state program, and I learned what I was doing today. I had no idea they were planting the seed. So I went from a chore checker all the way to the unit coordinator. So I was responsible for 300 inmates at one time, trying to move them around. So I learned basically my career in jail.
Jeez.
You know, so when I got out, I got indicted. I kept my recovery movement going. Judge Krieger, God bless her, so deemed it counterproductive to put me back into prison, and I kept on going. So it took me about 2 years to get clean. So what I did on a pre and a post incarceration, when I'm on a federal charge and I'm on state parole, I used recovery to bend that back. So I was like, hey, I got something, right? So I started helping going in with guys into court. I'd stretch it out, you know, help out their attorneys. They got public defenders, all that stuff. I was like, check this out. We're not going to do a speedy trial. I'm going to put you in sober living. I'm going to get you a bunch of treatment. I'm going to coach you. We're going to get you a job, and we're going to take the power out of the DA. So we started doing that, and one by one, it started working. They started getting probation instead of prison.
Wow.
And then when they got out, I do the same thing. I take their 3-year sentence, make it into a year.
That's incredible.
Just recovery credit, just start pounding it in.
But
So,
you had to get help yourself.
Yeah.
You had to clean up yourself. Before we talk about how much you've done in helping others, you had to turn your life around first before you decided to help others. Maybe it's a loaded question, but how did you do that? How were you able to get out of trouble and turn your life around and stop using and stop hanging out with the wrong people? What was the turning point for you in your life?
Basically, the turning point for me was, man, embarrassment. Man, I just
No way.
Man, third time in prison, like people that talk about they're getting stripes because they've been to the joint multiple times, they're crazy, man. That's embarrassing, yo.
Wow.
Like my whole prison experience was like, man, I suck at crime. This is terrible. You know what I mean? There's no percentages in this, man. Yeah. I'm back here again, you know, there ain't no good food, there ain't no women, there ain't no freedom, there ain't no keys to your door, you know, like this is not working out. The movie told me some stuff, you know what I mean? And when you in there, it's not like how they talking about, oh, you're gonna get raped and molested, all that stuff. I mean, that stuff happens, but the thing about it is it's extortion. It's like that can of carrots, right? That's in a food pantry that keeps on rotating to the next person. People forget about that can of carrots till they're trying to donate something to the next thing, trying to get a discount on a ball game or whatever. But that can of carrots never gets open.
Yeah.
It's just sitting up there collecting dust. And that's what you become. You know, you get life, you know, you can either do life on consignment or you can do a real life sentence.
Yeah.
So, you know, I told myself, I'm like, listen, man, Tomas, you got to do something with yourself, man, because you can't keep on doing this. You either going to commit and just check it in, or we're going to do something. So what are we going to do? And you're talking third person to yourself in the mirror. So I was just like, man, I'm just going to do something.
Wow.
I'm just going to figure it out. So I started hassling my case manager on different programs. I found a thing in Cheyenne Mountain before my parole meeting. My parole hearing was about 3 months out. So I went over to this case manager and I said, yo, let me check out this program. And he was laughing at me because I'm always trying to find something. Like I tried to get to Halfway House and he told me that, hey, man, you ain't had a job since Eazy had his first record. How you going to do Halfway House? You ain't got no job history. You know what I mean? I can't be a bouncer. I can't be a bartender. I can't be the stuff everything that I did before, tattoo artist, it was always connected to a party.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I didn't have no viable background to really do anything, you know, prior to, you know, the jobs that I really had, construction and stuff. But I was working under the table for those jobs. So there was nothing that I could really document to get out. But when I told him about Cheyenne Mountain, I was like, hey, man, what about this? He goes, you know, that's a behavior modification program. That's a rehab. And I don't know why I said it. I just said, hey, man, he goes, why do you want to do this, Tomas? I said, man, I just want to do something different. I don't know. I just want to do something different. So he was like, okay, let's go ahead. Let's rock with it. So I forgot about it. It's like a good Catholic family child would. I forgot all about it. 3 months later, I'm already got a tattoo machine. I'm a rock with
You do
things.
have plenty of those.
Yeah. I'm gonna do my little
Yeah.
prison thing. I go to parole.
Right.
And go to the meeting, and the case manager, I'm walking out, and he goes, you got your wish, smartass. I said, what? It's like, man, whatever. So I got about 3 hallways down, and I go, man, I'm going to rehab. So I'm getting rid of all my stuff. By the morning time, they're like, Hernandez, 126444, pack out. I'm really going to rehab.
You're getting
So
out.
I end up going to this place called Cheyenne Mountain. And you're thinking you're going to rehab, so you're like, all right, there's going to be soda machines and all this stuff. Nah, man, it was a war zone.
What do you mean by that? Like what?
Man, so you got a 5-year tail left in Cheyenne Mountain.
Yep.
And basically,
and you're in your 30s, 40s?
Yeah, I'm in my 30s.
Okay.
So I'm 33 years old, and I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at everybody that's there, and point systems don't matter there. So point systems in prison, it shows you like 5 points your minimum. It goes up to higher level of security. You got guys with 70 points to 5 points in this place because they all got a 5-year tail, and they've volunteered for this program.
Right.
So 1, 2, 3 is a war zone. So basically, like, they call it the third level Colfax, and that's Denver. That's like the longest street where all the bull stuff happens. Sorry, I'm on the line.
That's okay.
Yeah, so basically it's like Tropicana or Boulder Highway. You know what I mean? That's why they call it. You can get whatever you want on Tropicana or Boulder Highway, right? So that's why they call it Colfax. You get up there tattooing, doing whatever, fights, you know what I mean? It was like that. So second month I'm in, I'm like, man, this is not working out. They had this parole shift, and basically brought in a new warden. And the warden brought everybody downstairs. They thought that was scheduled, basically STG. That was something. So what that means is social threat group. So the gang that I was affiliated with has me social threat group. So that means when I'm transported, I'm in boxes with an electrocution box on my leg, and I'm inside a cage inside of a cage when I'm transported, right?
Oh, my God.
Because I'm gang affiliated.
Wow.
So they brought me downstairs, and I'm not no shot caller, and I don't ever contest, but my family, like the first time that I went to the joint, there was 12 of us already there. I was the 13th one. My brother was doing time in Reno here. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like I had to meet people. It was like a family gathering when I got there. I had family here, friends here, all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Wow.
The first yard that I hit, I'm at Chow. My childhood best friend, Dennis Gonzalez, was right there. He was like, hey, come on over here. I'm sitting with Dennis. You know what I mean?
Oh.
We talked to the captain, and we got in the same cell. I remember the first night we were there, I was like, you remember when we were younger? We're talking about all those great things we're going to do. And it was like a movie, man. It was like we looked at each other and we said how wrong we were. We just started laughing. You know what I mean?
Gosh.
We're sitting there cell to cell, just sitting there in a cell, just kind of looking up. But that's that it's that Payaso's parody. It's that comedy about the whole situation.
Jeez. So your rehab center is 5 years long?
No, it's if you have a 5-year tail, that means you're eligible for it. So it's a 2-year rehab. So I was there for 2 years.
Wow.
I was trying to get out early. I didn't get out early.
Okay.
So when I got out, I finished the program. About 2 months later, I got indicted. So I got indicted with the club that I was with, and I was looking at 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
So I didn't 510K, which means you got to tell. What am I going to tell on? Like, I mean, I've been in a prison rehab for 2 years. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to tell on 1,000 crazy Mexican dudes. I'm not going to do that, and put my family at risk. So I plea bargained. I capped it 68 months. So my idea was this. I'm going to keep on doing recovery. I'm going to stretch it out a year. So this is how I came up with what I do today, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm going to stretch this out a year. I'm going to see if I could get off this ankle monitor, get off parole, do these things, and then go in front of this judge. So I got this guy named John Fabiano, God rest his soul. He had a thing called Broader Horizons, and he'd take the hardcore to hardcore, and he worked with us and do these groups. And come to find out, after that, after I was running these groups, I really liked these groups, right? So it was always my support system. I could always call John and go to these groups, right? So I'm sitting with John. I'm like, yo, what should we do? He goes, hey, this is what we're going to do, man. We're going to take those 6 certifications. We're going to do 5 on top of them. And then we go in front of this judge, and we're going to see what we get. So I didn't really like 12 steps at the time, but I started reading the book and stuff like that because, you know, just like anybody else, I'm stubborn. You know what I mean? You know, you couldn't get me to read the Bible for nothing. Like today, you can't really get me to read the whole Bible. I think 8 guys wrote it, and they're all Jesus' best friends. You know what I mean? God was, you know, to me, you know, that's all right. It's a great book. You know what I mean? I talk to God. It's in my essence. I can talk to God. I don't need Job and Fred and Frank. And my name is Thomas, and I got kicked out of the damn thing, just like everything else. You know what I mean? So I'm not even in the book. You know what I mean? And my name was supposed to be in the book. So
do you feel, though, this rehab facility saved your life?
Yes, it did. So basically what happened was this, is I took five more courses. I went in front of Judge Krieger. I heard about this thing called a 12 or a 5th step, and it's kind of like a Catholic confessional, but I messed it all up. You're supposed to do it with a sponsor, and I'm drinking tequila while I'm writing this thing. So I'm going, my daughter's got alligator tears. She's sitting in front of me, you know, and I know I'm looking at 68 months. So I had a chance to either go in front of the U.S. attorney or take the judge's opinion. The judge can give me probation. U.S. attorney ain't going to give me that. And how I'm scheduled, you got a 0 through 7, right? And then it's got umpteen numbers down this way. And it's kind of like that old multiplication table thing. That's what you get on charges in federal, on months. So if you got the 0 to 7, that means 0 means that you got very low amounts of crime.
Right.
I'm a 7, 8, 9, 10. You know what I mean? I've been to 18 facilities already by the time I'm there. So the only chance in hell I have to probation, the judge can do that because he or she can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So I stood up in front of her and I said, hey, that was my gun because it was part of the evading and looting case that I had. I got everything out of the car but the gun. So the original crime, I was on a high-speed chase, took all of Aurora, all over everywhere, drove my car up a tree in the mailbox, ran. Got all the dope, everything else, dropped my gun out of the shoulder holster. So I was trying to be slick. I called my ex-wife that I had, the woman that I was married to. I got on the phone. I said, call the car stolen. The staff sergeant grabbed the phone. And they're like, Tommy Hernandez. Now, there's 2 people that call me Tommy in Denver. It's either football coaches or cops. Because they know me that long. So they're like, hey, you got 2 people on this car that's you and your dad. We're going to cuff your dad up right now if you don't turn yourself in.
Oh, my gosh.
So I walked back, got my charge, right? So it dropped state, picked up federal, and that was my charge. So I'm looking at this 68 months, and I just sat in front of Judge Krieger, and I just told her the truth, man. I'm like, listen, I bought that gun illegally. I had no business buying that gun. This is not my parents' fault. This is not anybody's fault but my own. You know what I mean? Took full accountability, you know, but hey, put me somewhere that I can continue my education. You see what I got. I got 11 certifications in front of you. I've been trying. I ran a prison rehab center. I did this. I didn't get any hot UAs, nothing. I didn't mess up the ankle monitor because, like, when I got arrested that morning, the ATF came and got me. So my face was on CNN, straight up. You know what I mean? My mom's embarrassed. She's Roman Catholic Ladies Auxiliary, so she's lighting the whole state on fire with candles. You know what I mean? My dad's trying to make it through. My dad's actually got 45 years in recovery. So he knows how, and he's an old school cholo, changed his life. So he was at even keel through the whole thing. You know what I mean? But with the whole experience there, I'm sitting in front of this judge. When she deems it counterproductive to put me back in prison, I hit the floor. I told her what was happening because usually how it works, I've always pled guilty. I've never been to trial. So it's like this. It's either the judge starts good and then she slays you, or she just starts bad and she slays you, right?
Yeah.
So the judge started bad, and I was like, man. But TC taught me to chin up, chest out, show respect, and listen to the woman and hear her out.
Wow.
The first time I ever heard recovery work for me. So she started bad. She talked about all the bad stuff that I did. And then she started talking about all the good stuff that I did. And then she looked at me and she said, Mr. Hernandez, I deem it counterproductive to put you back into prison. I'm going to give you 3 years supervised release. You're free to go.
I'm going to cry.
I just looked at her. I was like, what? Excuse me?
Because of the good that you did in your life.
I was like,
wow.
So then she got up and she turned back and she said, Mr. Hernandez. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, you might want to think about doing this for a living. This is the first time I've actually heard somebody just be honest in my courtroom about what they're doing. You got something.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah, she goes, you got something here, kid.
Wow. And here you are today.
Yeah, and I kept on thinking about that. It took me 2 years to get
Wow.
clean.
Oh.
I had a guy named Christopher Conway when I finally, because I messed up for a couple of years, trying
No,
to get clean.
no correlation to Kellyanne Conway, I hope.
No,
Okay,
no,
good.
no,
good.
no, no,
I'm
no.
glad to hear that. I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
he's a crazy Irish guy from Yonkers. I went to another TC program. I finished all parole and supervisory simultaneously, but when I got off UAs, I relapsed.
Yeah.
And I started using again.
What did you start? What were you using at that time?
Man, I was methamphetamine. I like staying up. I didn't like going down. The only time I used heroin is when I wanted to come down. And usually when I did it, out of the 10 times I tried it, doing it that way, 15, 20 times I
But
tried it.
this was not in the
I ended
days
up-
where the fentanyl was.
No,
crazy,
fentanyl wasn't
right.
there when I was
more
using it.
dangerous today. Not that it wasn't
Absolutely.
dangerous back then, but it's more
yeah,
dangerous today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was all dangerous, but I don't understand. That's the thing about making sure that we stay in the now in my rehab centers now, because fentanyl's robbed the bottom. It used to be jails, institutions, and death, right?
Yeah.
Now these kids are playing roulette. They putting Narcan in their pocket.
I know.
You know what I mean? Just to get high. They don't care about dying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In Aurora right now, we're second in the nation in violent crime behind Houston.
Wow.
Per capita, and we're first in.
Is it that
in
right? Is
property
Denver
crime.
that bad? I
Yeah.
didn't even know that.
When you brought marijuana, you brought all the
Wow.
stuff there, man. People going live, and you got everybody from every place.
Yeah.
Just like how Vegas
So
experienced that.
let me backtrack a little bit
Yeah.
here. You're in your 30s.
Yeah.
Judge gives you a big break in your life. I would
Yeah.
think, right? You're trying to get sober. You're trying to get clean. You're doing good things. You kind of know where you want this to go.
Yeah.
The judge sees that, and let's give her a lot of credit for doing the right
Yeah.
thing. Clearly, she made the right decision. I think it'd be incredible if you and her had a conversation now, and she saw where you were
Yeah.
at today, and then to where you are now, where these tribe recovery homes, this company that you run, where I can't even imagine how many lives you've saved with these recovery homes and what you've done and where you are today. When was the last time that you used? How long has it been?
It's been 10 years, man.
10 years. Congratulations. That's
10 years.
incredible.
10
And I
years
would
too
imagine
much,
you
yeah.
feel healthy. Your mind feels better. You're probably a
man.
more pleasant person to be around.
Yeah.
I mean, across the board, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've always been kind of fit, but I
Look at
prison
his
time,
arms
all that
compared to my
stuff.
arms, like twice
Yeah.
the size.
I was looking at
Look
his
at that.
leg. I was like, what is that muscle?
Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, I got a friend named Ron Harrison that got me into working out. Him and his dude Josh Lucero was kind of like the pinnacle piece that I looked at. These guys they're strong, and I was like, I got to about 340 pounds, just ate everything after I stopped doing meth.
But you and me,
I became a slob, so
I think
I kind of just got into fitness when I got into recovery.
I think all of us are spiritual people.
Yeah.
I'm not sure all of us are extremely. You came from a very religious background, of course, but I feel like in this situation, there's some situations where you say, God had to intervene in some way because
Yeah.
this is what you were born to do.
Yeah.
Right? Do you feel that way? That
There ain't
this
no-
was a calling,
Yeah.
and this is what you were born to do,
Yeah.
to help other people deal with what you had to deal with in your life.
There ain't no question there's a God in my mind. The things that pulled out of everything is there's a God. Just because I say the things about the Bible, I question everything like that. But I know through my essence, esoterically, that God came in and intervened and has talked to me.
Right.
I've overdosed. The first time I almost died, I was 19 years old. And I woke up after a actual meeting, I believe, with God, and I was pulling stuff out of me. My mom cut off the machines. It was basically, she had the priest in there talking to my last rites, my eulogy.
Oh my
and
God.
I woke up pulling everything out. They sedated me, put me into a straight jacket. I woke up in PSL on the 14th floor.
So you were in like a coma.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
drug-induced
Yeah,
coma.
and I woke up out of that. I mean, I've overdosed over 6 times. You know what I mean? In my life, I've been shot. I've been stabbed.
How do you explain that? The times
Yeah.
you were shot, the times you were stabbed, the overdoses, and yet you're here today. How do you explain that?
Man, when you're going through it, you really can't explain it. And some things I do know about the God of my understanding is some things is not for just a conversation to tell you how it's explained right now.
Yep.
It's an action and it's an example. Like I believe manifestation is a very huge tool of grace of God. Putting one foot in front of the next one and doing stuff and surprising yourself and doing things you thought you could never do because you listened to that inside spirit inside you to do the right thing. I just show up for work and I just do it, even when I'm scared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going to help while somebody else hesitates.
Yep.
You know what I
That's
mean? I'm going
huge.
to take that step, like coming to Vegas. Everybody was crazy. I turned down $10 million to come here.
That's a lot of money.
I was like, everybody else were like, Tomas, you said no? I said, yeah,
That's a
man,
lot
they're
of
going to
money.
steal my idea.
Well, here's what I want to talk
Yeah.
about. Here's what I want to do. And by the way, if you're just joining us, he is Thomas Hernandez from Tribe Recovery Homes, in and out of jail multiple times in his life. And now he's saving lives, and he's been doing that. Of course, Miss Mitchell, as I call her, or Simpson. Would you like to call me Miss Simpson? Call her Miss Simpson here as well. And, a different path, but in some ways similar, where she came from a very religious family, very strict family. She was a pastor. Now she's doing what she loves to do, a very popular OnlyFans model, and doing what she loves to do. Thomas is doing what he loves to do. When we come back, here's what I want to do. I want to ask Thomas about what he's doing now and what he wants to do in Vegas, the lives that he has saved, and how he came up with this amazing Tribe Recovery Homes that have saved countless lives. So we'll talk about that when we come back.
And I have a question for him, too.
I want you to ask more than one question. I'm hogging the microphone here. Two radio people here. But yes, I want you to ask plenty of questions when we come back. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Hey, everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you could be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Ryan Shapiro from Pushing the Limits here. Fantasy football draft is upon us. And in Las Vegas, your number one draft party destination is Sapphire. Don't miss their sexy sports podcaster and Instagram vixen, Lisa Ann, kicking off the fantasy football draft party poolside at Sapphire Day Club, complete with dozens of topless entertainers and cocktail servers, bartenders, free Wi-Fi, and, of course, fantasy draft boards to stake your top picks. Draft poolside or inside Sapphire Las Vegas. Packages are available now online at SapphireLasVegas.com and SapphireDayClub.com. Text or call 702-869-0003 to reserve your draft party today. Again, that number, 702-869-0003, and I'll see you at Sapphire.
Buying or selling a home is a huge life event that requires guidance from an expert in the industry and community. My name is Blake Wynn. You may recognize my name as my grandfather was the best governor the state of Nevada's ever had. Growing up in Las Vegas, I've come to know this community intricately. Now, I am raising a family here as well, so I understand all the issues impacting our home and quality of life. As the top realtor for the #1 real estate team at Keller Williams, you can have confidence in my experience, knowledge, and track record. When it comes to buying, selling, or investing in real estate, choose a name you can trust and someone who understands the community you call home. Call Blake Wynn today and experience the difference of a trusted expert. 702-540-3311.
Everybody, Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits here. I want to tell you guys about my good friends at the Postal Annex. They have a notary signing agent on site daily, no appointment needed, and they offer a full scale of printing services from shipping labels to documents, business cards, banners, photos, and business signage. They're your passport service headquarters. They offer passport photos, and they can renew your adult passports. If you're traveling in a hurry, they can get those passports to you within 7 days or less. Mailbox rentals with a physical street address, and they also receive your packages from Amazon, UPS, FedEx, USPS, and more. Here's the best part. If you're a Pushing the Limits listener, they have an introductory rate of only $39 for a 3-month service. You can't beat it. Give them a call. 702-873-8005. Check them out at 6130 West Flamingo Road. It's the Postal Annex. Tell them I sent you.
I'm Harvey Hyde, and the football season is here. And the UNLV Rebel football team will be kicking off this Saturday at 1 p.m. at Allegiant Stadium. We're highlighting a special show Friday afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m. here on AM 1400 Sports Talk Radio Las Vegas, highlighting the kickoff of the 2023 football season. Please listen. At 4 to 6, we'll have all the facilities, talk about the game, talk about the players, break down the offense, break down the defense, have the athletic director on, and many others. So again, buckle up out there. We hope you ride along with us Friday afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m. I'm Harvey Hyde, and go Rebels.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits. I want to tell you guys about Sahara West Urgent Care and Wellness. They're conveniently located on the southwest corner of Sahara and Jones. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. At Sahara West Urgent Care, they'll take care of all your healthcare needs. They offer routine services such as physicals, STD testing, car accident treatment, and work injuries. You name it, they do it. They have on-site x-ray, EKG, ultrasound, and labs. They treat chronic conditions such as asthma, blood pressure, diabetes, and more. They also offer general wellness exams, treatments such as testosterone enhancement and cancer screening. They're located on Sahara, 6125 West Sahara Avenue. Their number is 702-248-0554. And the best part, they accept most major insurances and affordable cash pay prices, office visits starting at just $95. And I'm also a client, so please give them a call, 702-248-0554.
How's the game last night?
Welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits. I was just asked about the Aces game last night. They were able to get the W at Michelob Ultra Arena. Welcome back to the show. Have to thank all my great sponsors, including Blake Wynn with Keller Williams. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home, give them a call, 702-540-3311. Of course, Jackson's Bar and Grill. I was over there yesterday. Great gaming bar. I was there with Big Mo, Paul McKeskey. We were hanging out there with his wife and having a good time. And of course, Sahara West Urgent and Primary Care, where I'm taking my mom actually over there next week to get checked up. She is Nikole Mitchell, of course, Miss Simpson. I can call her that as well. Pastor turned stripper. She definitely fits in very well here with all the other beautiful women. And I actually introduced her to some of the great management here. We're having a good time at the topless pool, the only topless pool, Gentlemen's Club topless pool in all of Las Vegas. And the sun just came out. How about that, everybody? The sun just came out. We got our engineer, Joe, doing a great job. And we are joined now by Thomas Hernandez, the founder of Tribe Recovery Homes. He talked a little bit about his life, how he's been in and out of jail. He's been clean and sober for 10 years. And now what he's doing now is just, it's really incredible work. Thomas, I want to give you an opportunity to talk about that. Talk about this company. How many facilities do you have and why you want to bring some of these facilities to Las Vegas?
Okay, so basically how Tribe was formed is I just needed to find gaps of service like in my story that I was talking about.
Yeah.
You know, when you're 37 years old and you got 3 felonies and you basically got no job history, you got to figure it out. And there's not a lot out there for you, but, you know, a little bit of holes in the walls and some bread and some milk. And that's about it. You got to put it together. Now, with judicial, people don't look at it. They get a case of ethics. Always. That was my whole life. If I knew I was going to do some time, I was going to get sober. Why am I going to get sober? I'm going to join anyway. I'm going to jail. I'm going to county, whatever. You needed to figure out something that you could mix that together. And through my story that I was talking about, I was like, hey, man, I got a recipe right here, so let me try this. So I started doing that with 1 guy, 2 guys, 5 guys, 10 guys, 100 guys. I did it with this kid named Nicholas Priest, and he lets me tell the story. That's why I'm not breaking his HIPAA on saying this stuff. But he was a young kid, 19 years old, messed up his life, and he was deep into heroin, and this is when heroin was killing people 24/7. That's when the epidemic came back. He had $13,000 that he got from an inheritance. On the last part, he was buying cell phone cards, Mexican cards for Hondurans. And he got caught up federal, and he was in my care. So the whole rehab's freaking out, mom's crying, all that stuff. So I was like, yo, Judge Krieger, John Fabiano, my story. So I put the same thing together. I called it Sober Living. I put a whole year worth of modalities out. I went over to the federal building. I said, trust me on what I'm about to do. I went right past the U.S. attorney. The guy was like, who are you? Asked the judge to approach, gave him the piece of paper. I told the judge, I was like, hey, this kid is guilty of being stupid. Like, he's already been in rehab for 2 weeks. He had no idea this was coming down. You guys got a lot to do. This is a big case. It's a federal case. Let him come back to rehab and let him get him back in my care. And I guarantee you he's going to become a different person. Judge let it happen. Wow. I walked out with that kid that day. So I was like, hey, this worked twice. Now I worked on that once. It worked twice in federal. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've done it in city. I've done it in state. So I'm sitting there, and Nikki calls me his mom, and she was like, hey, I want to buy you a house. I said, what? It's like 3 a.m. She goes, I want to buy you a house. You're going to pay the mortgage, but you got to do the same things you did with Nikki Boy. You got to work in judicial. Yeah. So I said, all right. So I got my buddy Michael Hornbuckle. We started this thing called Soul Repo. It was our test tube of sober living.
I love
yeah,
that.
it was terrible. It was the first business move. We didn't have insurance when we first started. We just started doing it, right?
Don't know.
Like we went on Facebook and like from judges to police to Bloods to Crips to GDs was dropping things off in front. Everybody that we knew from the neighborhood. I had more furniture. I had like 3 houses worth of furniture to put this one house together, right? And it was great. It was a blessing. So Michael went on with his thing with the nonprofit that we put it on, and I was like, man, I got to do my own thing. So I was thinking about a thing called, I was like, Tribe just kept on hitting me in the head. Tribe. So I was looking out this window at the cigar shop on Colfax, and I was seeing everybody gangbanging and selling dope and getting high and walking around like zombies. So I started drawing this gorilla with intent because I remember when I had this ILP, you needed to find your like inner spirit animal or whatever. But I liked the gorilla because it had individuality, it had strength, it had, you know what I mean? But it had peace, and it's humble. It ain't going to take more than, you ain't going to see it eat like 20 plants and fall over because it's overeating, whatever. You know what I mean? It's very dialed in, but if you mess with it, it's going to tear your head off, right? So I started drawing this gorilla, and I was like, hey, I got to make something street because it's not Vista Peaks, Vista View, waterfalls, because these people that are out on the streets here, they ain't going to be able to return to a waterfall, even if they got a scholarship.
Yeah.
That's a pink cloud. But if I set up in Tribes right down the street and their butts falling off, they can come back to Tribe and figure it out. And we use a harm reduction model. So I got this apartment from this real gutter-ass ex-attorney. I went from one apartment, $600 and 4 guys, and went to 27 guys, took 15 apartments, rehabbed them. I took his building from 1.7 to 3.2 million in worth.
Wow.
And it was basically a handshake again. I was just taking guys out the joint and out of county jail that knew how to swing a hammer. I was like, I'll give you your first month for free. Let's just work on this building. 27 of those guys, 21 of them are still sober today.
Wow, that is so crazy. Nikole, I know you have some questions you want to add. That is incredible.
Wow. I mean, I have so many questions, and this is going to go back a little bit because I'm just so fascinated for someone who's been through in so much crime and so much drugs, in and out of prison. Like, you've faced a lot of hardship, a lot of heartbreak, and I know I've only known you for today, but you have this really warm, loving, kind, open presence about yourself. It doesn't match your story. Like, how are you not so hardened? How are you still soft and open and fun? And like, I just would expect after someone in your lifestyle would be so hard and closed off. How are you not like that today?
Well, one thing is a lot of therapy and a lot of family and a lot of love. You know what I mean? I was closed off. Like, I'm a 12-stepper. I'm an NA guy.
Yeah.
When I first walked in the rooms, people giving me a hug, giving me cigarettes, buying me food at Village Inn, all that stuff. Really loving me when they didn't love myself. Like my mentor, Christopher Conway, was, and a shout out to him yesterday. He has 25 years sober as of yesterday.
That's awesome.
Crazy Irish guy from Yonkers. Every morning he'd call me and give me affirmations. And, he's Irish guys. Tommy, you're going to be all world, kid. I love you. What are we going to do today? What's good? What we got going? Tell you what, come over to the office. Do some UAs for me. Work the counter. Do whatever. You know what I mean? He was always and this guy didn't get paid for that. Wow. He did that for a year straight. You know what I mean? Just making sure that I knew that I had value. It made me feel like I had value. So, with that, and a lot of guys that are out there acting really, really tough, they're really scared. You know what I mean? I was always kind of a joker when I was high. a little bit too much of a joker to the point that it was kind of overbearing. You know what I mean? So, I don't dance now, and like everybody else, like my wife's like, "What? Why don't you dance?" and all that stuff. Because like I did a lot of dancing when I was faded. Like I'd jump on the damn stage with the girl. You know what I mean? Acting crazy. You know what I mean? So I'm like, hey, I know that guy. Let's stay over here. Let's kind of just dance in spirit. You know what I mean? So with that being said, it's just always been kind of a personality about me. I've always been I like to smile. I like to joke around. I have my serious moments. I know when to turn it on.
Yeah.
But the certain things of living empty, I don't want that no more, man. I don't want to. Why?
Right.
I'm almost 50 years old, and in a couple of years, I got 25 years to have a great time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I am going to be old with gold chains on and still walking around and doing my thing, and I don't care.
I love
but
that.
I'm gonna be clean,
Yeah.
God willing, one day at a time, sober, and my family, and I'm gonna watch my kids grow. That's
So good. So then what would be your message to someone has a similar background? They're in and out, they're on and off. There's something in them that wants a different life, but they keep getting kind of pulled back in, and they're wondering if maybe time's running out for them or hope's running out for them. What would you want them to hear?
Man, it ain't ever over. You just got to make the decision, man. It's about hard work. The new saying, 10 toes down, boots laced up. That's just not a saying. Like Deion Sanders came into a pep talk the other day, and it was great. You guys got to look at it. He came in with overalls, and he was talking about his true definition of what work ethic looks like, right? What he was taught by his father, role models. What somebody's work ethic looks like is not the same as another one's. But when you're talking about recovery work ethic, it means you're showing up every day and doing the things that you don't want to do and making it like you love it. Like when I was in 12-step meetings, it made an honor that I could make the coffee for that meeting on a Tuesday night every night. You know what I mean? I could set up those chairs. It was an honor. They finally gave me a key to that church so I could open that place up. You know what I mean? Earning my seat back with my dad and my mom at the house. You know what I mean? Working hard. Like before I got, a little as successful that I am today, I dug ditches. I loaded trucks. I made pizzas for this crazy Pakistani guy that got on my nerves 24/7. You know what I mean? I did everything that they would like normal parolees would be like, man, this ain't no future and no fronting in it. Ain't no, just go back to the streets. This is that. Nah. The stereotypes of I got felonies, I can't get a job, that is bull crap. And you know it. And I'm telling you that on the air right now. Get up, get your lazy butt up off the couch and do something about it. You know what I mean? Because I ain't here because I sat and dram about it.
Right.
I showed up.
You did it. Yeah. And now you want to bring this to Las Vegas. Can you talk a little bit about that and what's in the works right now? What you're trying to do? Because I know you have an event coming up.
Yeah, I love this place, man. My brother's been here since 1983. I started coming out here on conferences, right? And I started watching everybody roll around and, doing the strip thing. I'm not a big gambler. I like to think I'm Stephen A. every now and then and try to put some stuff down, but I'm really not. You know what I mean? I lose my butt more than anything else. But I don't drink. I don't partake in all the other stuff, and I'm not the guy that kind of.
That's not why you like Vegas.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So I ended up going on off strip and started touring places, started touring hospitals. I would get I got this little Chinese place down the street, little Asian place down the street that does day laundry, and I just go up on Martin Luther King Boulevard and with some cigarettes and just talk with the homeless.
Wow.
Check out everything that was happening there. Go around different spots. Call the homies. Be like, hey, yo, who's banging here? I met up with a few of the Crips out here, a few of the Bloods out here, some of the 1% biker crews that are out here. Know them from distant places and all that kind of stuff. Seeing what's happening, what's cracking around here. Checked out everything all the way down from Boulder Highway to up Tropicana. All that stuff. Did street outreach. You know what I mean? Sat in cigar shops and connected with cops. But the biggest thing what I did is I got a great lobbyist named Lacey Hayes. I love you, lady. That's my little sister. She's amazing. She got me with what I do is I partner with the government. I'm not going to picket line, and I'm not going to be at the Capitol raising a fist. I'm going to walk right past that argument. I'm going to go into that building. I'm going to work things out. So in Denver, I'm a commissioner on a few different things, like the Justice and Crime Commission, a few things. I work with the police to make sure, like, yo, because my job is this. If you two are my clients, right? My participants, I'm in front of that judicial, like, yo. They just got high, man. We need to work something out to give them a second and third chance. Let's use some harm reduction models. Let's do some housing. Let's get some vouchers. You're always going to have people in jail, man. So let's work on programming. So negotiating programming, all that stuff. So that's what I'm doing here, working with the great county commissioners. And I fell in love with North Vegas. I love all of Vegas, but I knew my spot that nobody was doing anything in was North Las Vegas. So I was like, yo, I got a place right across.
And that's where most of the drug use is. Obviously, the Strip, there's going to be tourists and stuff, but most of the crime, most of the drug use is in North Vegas. I think that's pretty fair to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I came here, man, I had like 10 grand in a Cadillac, murdered out Cadillac, and I was still and I love this place. I'm giving a shout out to El Cortez. I don't care.
I like El Cortez.
Yeah, that's my spot.
It's a cool spot.
So every time I get the room in the second building, I always look at North Las Vegas, and I'd sit there for, an hour at least and just meditate on the streets and think about my ideas. And just out of my vision, I seen the courthouse, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I got to find something over there. So I told my real estate people, this is where I need to go. We found a building right there. You know what I mean? 2290 McDaniels. Rented it upstairs, downstairs. We got a food bank in there. We got an outpatient to start. We're about to go get some real estate out here in the next month and do the same things we got in Denver. So Denver has got 13 houses and 4 treatment centers.
Wow.
We're in Aurora, Metro Denver area.
And you're trying to get to that point here. How many lives do you think you've saved? And I know you're modest and you probably don't talk about that, but let's just be realistic here. How many people, and I hate to say it like this, but how many people that you think would most likely be 6 feet underneath the ground right now?
Or in prison.
Or in prison. Good point. Good point. That lives you've saved since you started doing your work.
I can't say a number, but I can give you one thing that'll give you a perspective on it. I'm a 68% success rate, and I'm a 0.3 recidivism rate.
And how many clients have you had over the years?
I service about 1,000 in the houses a year.
Wow.
And our last numbers on our reentry PPC, which is the pretrial program, we touched 4,000 people. So what?
Okay, so you've saved tens of thousands of lives. I think that's probably pretty fair to say.
Sure.
With the 68%, that is just unreal. Okay, so because we only got a couple more minutes left here, how do people get involved? How can they reach out to you if they want to be a part of what you are trying to bring, which I know you will, to Vegas? When you have a vision, you seem to be able to get things done. How do people reach out to you and help you?
Find me on Facebook, Thomas Hernandez on there. You'll see me with my sitting on the screen there. You can look for triberecoveryhomes.com. That's our nonprofit that we have. You'll see the Denver stuff. The Las Vegas stuff is in the mix. But people from Las Vegas, look out for Tribe Sin City. Tribe Sin City is the new brand out here. Websites will be going up. Our numbers will be going up. We're going live. 2290 McDaniels on Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th is our grand opening. And we're going to have a lot of people out there. But what's going to be cool about it is come and eat and celebrate with us. We're going to be serving y'all. You guys ain't going to be serving us. We're going to be serving y'all. Wow. You guys come over there. We want to give you a plate of food, tell you, hey, we're in the neighborhood, whatever you need. So what that means is you have judicial problems, you need mental health, addiction, DUI, all that kind of stuff. Get to housing. We're working with some great housing partners right now while we're building our housing to get you into where you need. And court services. If you got a ticket and you got a drug problem, you need to come see me.
Wow, that's
I love
incredible.
It. Thomas, you're doing great work
Thank
here, my
you.
man. I'm lucky to have met you, and he's also a real fun guy to have a cigar with, too, by the way, I might add. We went over to La Casa the other day, and we had a good time. And, this isn't the last time you're going to see Nikole because she's co-hosting with me every Friday.
Okay.
We're doing segments together, and I know Nicole's going to be back at Sapphire maybe even in 2 weeks,
2
right?
weeks, I hope so.
What do you got going on this weekend here in Vegas?
So I love this opportunity to come here and be on Pushing the Limits Radio, meet amazing people, make those incredible connections. Brian, you're so well connected, and I'm just so happy to meet more of your world. And whenever I get to come out here, I always try to book other interviews or other photo shoots. So I have 3 photo shoots.
Yep.
I have some family coming in to join me this weekend, and we're going to enjoy some of the holiday hangouts here in Vegas. So thank you for having me.
I love it. We are off on Monday, so I'm going to be playing a best of show. But maybe all three of us and Miguel Nunez, we all smoke a
What?
cigar together.
Man.
We all, yeah. Thanks to Miguel, by the way, for being here as well. Tim Treffiger stopping by. Probably will be our next attorney general one day. I have a feeling of that. Thanks to Joe for always doing a great job. We've got one more remote here, I believe, in 2 weeks. And then, gosh, it's sad, but the pool season's going to be over. But then we're going to be doing some Monday Night Football parties here. So thank you both for being here. Thanks to Miguel for being here. It's always a great time. Sapphire Gentlemen's Club Topless Pool. It's pretty busy out here. You won't find a more busy pool on a cloudy, rainy day. We're having a lot of fun.
It's the place to be.
We're going to stick around here. We're going to hang out and have a good time. Come on down, and we'll be back live on Tuesday. We're going to be playing a best of Pushing the Limits on Monday. Thanks to Justin back in the studio. Thanks to everybody here at Sapphire for always treating us great. And we will see you next week. I hope everybody has a very happy and safe holiday weekend. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye.